right, welcome to another Coach's Corner. Coach, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what sport you coach?
Hi, I am Coach Whetstone. I coach volleyball at University High School.
All right, and how long have you been the coach here at university?
I am starting my second year, so I just finished my freshman year coaching, and it was great, and I'm looking forward to this next season.
But would it be fair to say that you have been a fan of University High School for a little bit longer than that?
I have been a fan of University High School since 2014 when my daughter attended there and played for UHS on their volleyball team. So I've been affiliated with the program for 6 years now, but I just came on as coach last year and brought her with me. So not only did she get to play for university, but now she coaches with me.
And that's kind of a unique situation. How's that going coaching with your daughter? How's that working out for you?
It's actually amazing. It's really been able to strengthen our friendship as adults now. And not so much, I mean, we've always been very close as a mother and daughter, but now that we actually get to coach together, it's actually really neat because I followed her through her career and was involved in all of her teams and everything that she's played. And so we know where each other's coming from. So a lot of times we can have conversations without talking, like we know what to fix or we know what to see. And it's really neat to be able to kickstart a program like this together, having a lot of the same ideals and a lot of the same ethics with it.
Okay. And let's see. And I know that you don't come the traditional route of, coaching from different high schools and so on and so forth. So tell us a little bit about your background as far as coaching goes.
So no, I'm definitely not conventional. I have coached for the YMCA for about 6 years now, all different levels. The youngest ones I coached were 8 years old, the little guys, and then all the way up to high school aged. So I was able to coach with them and get a lot of experience from them. So I think that helped me on the developmental level, being able to break the sport down from the very basic and working up with it. I've always kind of helped out with the different teams that Lane's been on and been exposed to different coaching aspects and coaching techniques through those teams and helping out with those teams. So it was really a dream come true for me when I was able to step up and take on a program like this and see where we can go with it.
So being that you had the coaching experience before, but this was your first year in a high school setting.
Yeah.
Would you say that this was coaching at the high school? Was it what you expected? Was it different than you expected, or was
All of
it
the
did it
above.
happen exactly? It was all the above.
It was all
All
the
the
above.
above
It was
in
what
a
I
good way,
expected.
hopefully.
Do what?
In a good way, hopefully.
Yes, absolutely. All of the above in a good way. The the level of competitiveness that these players brought to the court was exactly what I expected them to have. We have such amazing athletes at UHS in our volleyball program, and they bring so much to the table where I was able to teach them some things, and then I was able to learn a lot from them too. So, because best laid plans and all. So it looks great on paper, but then when you actually have it in front of them, they were they were so amazing at being able to take direction and try new things and then be, very upfront about, well, that doesn't work for us, or can we try it this way? And um, as much as we coached them, I think that, they were really instrumental in a lot of their own success because they were able to take a lot of the things that we brought to the table and make it their own, which to me is a huge success. And when any athlete can do that. So it was a lot of what I expected as far as that. That was what I was hoping would happen. And then a lot of the unexpected stuff was, there's always going to be struggles and there's always going to be frustrations. And as much as I knew that I was going to be invested in the girls in the program, after the season was done, looking back, I went into withdrawals. I was like, I want my kids back. I want my season back. I was not prepared for how it would feel after the season.
Okay, like something was missing.
Yeah, there was a lot missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you go
Yeah.
from seeing the kids all day at school and then being, spending anywhere from, 2 to 5 hours in the evening with them if it's a practice or a game, to you barely see them at all. And it was a little bit of a transition for me.
Right. Right. It's almost like you were back in high school again and you had that relationship with someone you were in love with and then you broke up. One
Yeah,
of those type of
yeah. And
deals.
I don't
Yeah.
even want to think about the fact that I broke up with my player. I didn't break up with my players. Come back. No,
Right.
yeah. But it's like that. Yeah. So I was like kind of stalking them, I want to know their travel season information so I can go to their travel games so that I can still be a part of it. And then I was already like looking forward to summer workouts and planning all this stuff. Yeah, because I wasn't ready to stop.
Right. Right. Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And have you coached any other sports?
I did have a stint where I coached soccer for a season. I was kind of voluntold to because they were in a crunch, and my kids had played soccer growing up, so I was familiar with the sport. But yeah, that was just one season, and I'm okay with just letting that stay where it was. I
Okay.
had a lot of fun, but
All
it
right.
obviously was not my expertise.
Yeah. Gotcha. Gotcha. And where did you grow up?
I grew up right here in Volusia County. I was born and raised in Daytona Beach and am a Spruce Creek High School alumni.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, university wasn't around back then for me to go to, so I
Right,
had to
right.
go I had to go to Creek.
And pre-high school, what sports were you involved with as a youngster?
Um, Believe it or not, I did a year of cheerleading.
I
Um,
don't see you being a cheerleader, honestly.
I did a year of cheerleading. I think I was like 7, something like that. Uh, Other than that, I played softball a little bit and got involved with softball, and I played racquetball, but not, I mean, that was just like a hobby. Um, that that's pretty much it.
Okay. And then it might may be obvious to us, but then once you got into high school, what sports did you gravitate towards?
I only played volleyball in high school. That's
Okay.
it. I didn't play any other
And
sports.
and go ahead and tell us who your coach was and what she is still doing to this day.
I had the distinct honor of being coached by Coach Swayze, who is still the volleyball coach at Spruce Creek High School. We were part of her first year coaching at Creek. So she was amazing. I We still keep in contact and kept in contact throughout all of it. Um, so by far one of the best coaches I've ever met in my life.
Right. And I know that she has done an amazing job over there and has had multiple years where she has made deep runs in the state playoffs.
Oh
And I
yeah,
know
she's a
she is,
legacy over there, that's for sure.
well, she's not just a legacy over there. She is, she's high up on the ladder, no matter what
Yep.
sport you're talking about.
There's not much
She is
in the state of Florida that comes to volleyball where if you mention Swayze, it would be very hard to find somebody who didn't know who you were talking about.
no doubt. I would totally agree with that. Um, let's see. And as a player, do you have a moment that really sticks in your head as something that you look back on, whether it was your 1 year of cheerleading or softball or volleyball, something that just really
Um,
sticks in your head as a moment?
when I was a junior, um, so back when I played volleyball in high school, it wasn't the way it is now where it's a rally point system. You
Right,
couldn't score a point unless you won the serve. And
right.
so that was the only way to get points was to serve. And you played to 15. I think it was 15 or 21. It wasn't it wasn't the way it is now. It was a lower point that you played to. And
I believe it's 15, I
I think
think.
you played to 15, but again, you had to serve to get a point.
Right.
So just because you won the side out
Games
didn't mean
were
you got a point.
much. Yeah,
So it could go back and forth for like two or three times and nobody ever get a point because
right.
you kept losing your serve. And so I was always a really good server. It was like one of my things. And so I started, and you still had to win best 2 out of 3 back then. And so I started the match serving, won the first game 15-0. And so as a joke, I was like, "Hey coach, let me start the second game and see how far I can go." And they were like, "Yeah, okay, why not? What do we have to lose?" So I started the second game off serving and we won the entire match 30-0 off of me serving.
Oh, wow.
So I served
Wow.
an entire match and we won an entire match and never lost the serve.
Wow. Do you remember who the other school was by chance?
Yep, Seabreeze.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Sorry, Seabreeze.
It
I
was
was really
Seabreeze High
hoping you'd
School.
say like the land or somebody like that.
No, it was Seabreeze.
Uh, and as a coach, do you have a memory that sticks in your head that's what and it heck it could be a negative thing too, but something
Yeah.
that just really
Um,
sticks in your head?
I have two from this season. Um, One was the last home game of the season. We beat Atlantic, and we had lost against Atlantic in the beginning of the season, and it was a frustrating loss because we knew we could have beat them and that we should have. And so then they came home to us, and it was the end of the season, and we were so strong, and it was a battle. Like it was back and forth. And I remember um, the refs weren't so hot this game. And so it felt like we were battling them and the refs at the same time. And we were able to pull off like a really amazing win at home. And the girls they dug so deep and they were just so determined not to give up. And it paid off. And it was just so cool to see it happen and to see the looks on their faces that they were able to make up for that first loss that they had against them. That was a really good moment. And sorry, Swayze, I have to tell this story. Another moment for me was the first round of districts. We had to go to Creek and play against Creek in the district playoffs, and they beat us the first game, and we were able to come back and beat them the second game. So to be at my old high school playing against like my idol and my original coach and being able to do it with my daughter and then beat her one game. We lost the match, but the fact that the kids got to experience it and my daughter and I got to experience it was something that I'll never forget.
No doubt. And especially knowing how dominant Spruce Creek has been for
Yeah.
decades.
We were
That's
able to walk into their home and give them at least one loss in a game. It was big for us.
no doubt. I remember. Yeah, that was definitely a cool thing. Um, and what is one thing that you hope your athletes get from being on a team that is coached by you?
I hope that they walk away from the experience knowing that no matter what, I believed in them. Um, that every single one of them has something to bring to the table, and every single one of them was allowed to fail, and that it doesn't define them, that what defines them is how they handle it and what they do afterward, and that no matter how they handle it or what they do afterward, that it's done with love and a commitment that yes, volleyball is fun and yes, it's what we're doing, but I've always told my kids, I just hope that you leave a better person than you were when I met you. I just hope you leave just a little bit better. And if they can just take something that they learned from me and it helps them somewhere along the line as an adult, it doesn't even have to be volleyball related, then I did my job.
I like that. Um, and you said that you've been a part of university for I think you ended up saying for about 7 years now, but
Yeah, almost
this
7 years.
is your first full year working there. What's the best thing about working at university?
Oh my gosh, I can only say one. Um,
So you can only say one, and it
um,
can't be working with me.
it
That
can't
can't
be
be the
working
answer.
with you. Oh man.
Yeah.
Um, I would say the best part about working at university is I'm not working at university. I work with university because everybody who goes there for work every day is doing it for the right reasons. They're doing it because they truly care for the kids. They want to be a part of these kids' life, and we work with each other just to try to give the kids everything they need at that point in their life for the next part of their life. So I would say I don't work at university or high school. I work with them.
That's awesome. You should make that into a card or a T-shirt. I don't know. So Dr. Jones, I hope you hear that. That should be our T-shirt next year. Um, and for your athletes or parents or anyone that might watch this, what would you like to say to them right now?
um, I would like to say to them, thank you for allowing me to have an amazing inaugural year with them. Stick around, the best is yet to come, and bring everything you've got, and I'll promise to do the same thing.
Well, I can't ask for anything more than that, for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, hey, and if it includes chocolate, then all the better.
Um, and I sent all the coaches the questions that I would be asking, but I have added one, and I don't know if you've seen one of the interviews yet where this question has been asked, so you may not
I never
have been
watched
able
the
to
end.
prepare for this one. Yeah, so here's a surprise.
Okay.
So, if you could have dinner with any four people, dead or alive, who would those four people be and why?
I would have dinner with Robin Williams because just to be able to sit and watch his mind work, I think would be absolutely amazing and entertaining, and nothing else could compare to it. Um, so yeah, Robin Williams, um, Albert Einstein, um, Martin Luther King Jr., and Dan Marino.
Wow. I don't know that that is such a crazy mix, but I don't know that anyone would get a chance to say anything if Robin Williams was there, though.
That's true.
I mean,
I think
just
everybody else would just kind of be sitting like me going, mm-hmm.
and laughing the whole time. I mean, the interviews that you used to see with him on like David Letterman and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, just he's all over the place. But
Yep.
you're the first one that's mentioned his name, and I'm like, oh wow, if he's the
Yeah.
Robin Williams that we see on those interviews,
Mm-hmm.
that would be freaking awesome.
I would love it.
So
I that would be
yeah,
epitome for me.
and and uh, imagining him and Martin Luther King Jr. at a dinner table together, I think they would be just because personality wise, again, we only know the I don't know the political slash
Hmm.
professional Martin Luther King Jr. They just their personalities seem so opposite. I would be
But if
so
anybody
interested.
could bring it out of him, tell me Robin Williams couldn't.
Oh yeah, yeah, but if he couldn't, JFK would be that medium person that could
Oh
definitely
yeah, that's
get
a good
those two
one.
to kind of.
Yeah.
Because didn't you say he was one of the ones?
No, Albert Einstein.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I had another interview this morning that mentioned JFK.
And
I'm
Albert
sorry.
Einstein
So,
was really goofy, actually. He was not like a very serious person. So I think that they'd be the comedians would outnumber the
yeah, the
yeah,
goofballs would outnumber the
the
brain
serious
guys, and
ones.
then you
And then
then
Dan
you
Marino's
throw
just gonna sit there and
Marino
take it
in
all
there.
in.
Yeah, yeah, and I just don't know how he fits in there. So yeah, I don't know. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else to mention
No,
or not
I'm just
mention?
ready to get back to school and see the kiddos and for us to go back to what we considered normal.
Yeah, no telling what normal is going to be when we do go back. But
Exactly.
yeah, I'm in for it too. So yeah, well, I guess that's all I got too. So I'm gonna go
Yeah, thank
ahead
you
and
for doing this. It was great.
well, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and all right, I'm gonna go ahead and stop this recording. Thanks, Coach.
All right, bye. Thanks.